Hello everyone, I want to show you a simple way of mapping out your fictional narrative. So we're going to pretend this Google Doc right here is a piece of paper at your house. Okay, the first thing you want to do, and again, you are welcome to write your own short story, your fictional narrative. If you would rather just map out the plot, that is okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually draw your plot diagram. Okay, obviously this is much easier to do on paper than it is on the computer. Okay, the very first thing you should have is your exposition, and I'll just put an E here for exposition. Remember, there are three parts to an exposition. You have your setting, when and where the story takes place. You have your characters, and you have the conflict. Okay, and then you have these things called rising actions. That's where the conflict or the problem of the story gets worse. So I'm going to go ahead and label this RA for rising actions. Okay, now on your own paper at home, obviously you are going to write, and if this is easier for you to do digitally, by all means do it digitally. It is not for me. I'd much rather do this on paper, so that's always an option to you as well. Okay, so obviously for yours, you're going to actually write these things in. Okay, here is your good old climax. That's the most intense part of the story, or where the problem is at its absolute worst. The problem starts getting resolved, not completely, but starts getting resolved on the falling actions. So I'm going to go ahead and label this FA. And again, you want to write what they are, typically, not always, but on average, there tends to be more rising actions than falling. But that is not always the case, so please don't lock yourself into worrying about a certain number of each. Okay, and then obviously where the problem is solved is the resolution, or if you like a cliffhanger ending, this is where, you're left realizing there's a whole new problem and the cycle begins all over again. So really in a plot diagram, and you don't have to do this for this assignment for project number 1, but just to kind of give you a big picture, a true plot diagram will go in waves, and series do this a lot. Like if you think Lord of the Rings series, Twilight series, Percy Jackson, okay, where one problem solved, others begin, that kind of thing. So as you're doing this at home, if you are just wanting to map this out again, feel free to get the plot diagram done and then take a picture of it, upload it, and that will work for project number 1. If you are wanting to write the story, please make sure you write it in first person narrative using the pronoun I, and I look forward to seeing your amazing work.